and welcome back to the auditorium and our next demo session. My name is Joanna and I'm very happy to have Steph from Jetstream with me right now. Hi, Steph.
Hey, Joanna. How are you?
Good, thank you. Thank you so much for joining us today. So before we'll start with the actual demo, I'll just give a very quick overview of Jetstream and then Steph will take you through everything. So Jetstream is our partner when it comes to streaming and multi-CDN technology. And the Jetstream platform, you can say that it is developed by streamers for streamers, and it helps them to build complex workflows in just a few minutes. On the platform, you can stream live radio, TV, VOD, and you can launch all kinds of services, really. For example, subscription services, pay-per-view, or you can also advertise videos. And so, yeah, the platform lets you manage complex live streaming workflows in just one interface. And it doesn't matter if you have just one live channel or maybe hundreds. Also, it's possible to set up custom workflows and integrate encoders, origins, portals, and platforms through APIs. So yeah, I think that was just a very quick overview, and we'll do the deep dive now with Steph. So I'd say let's get started straight away. So Steph, can you show me what the user interface of the Jetstream platform looks like? So what do I see when I log on?
Yes, of course. I have the screen in front of me, and when you log on for the first time, you will see a dashboard. And the dashboard is showing some snapshot analytics as you go. It's an interface that works either on the browser, but also on your mobile phone. So even if you're remote working, you can actually log in and use your cell phone, your smartphone to set up a stream or to lock down a stream or to generate a player. Everything can be done through the web interface.
Okay, that sounds very simple. Indeed. So I see that you have a transcoding service, and maybe transcoding is a good starting point. So maybe you can tell us how the transcoding works on your platform.
Yes, as with every server is in the Jetstream platform, you can either do your transcoding yourself before you upload your files to our platform, or you can have us do the transcoding. But unlike other video platforms, which basically do transcoding for you, you can influence the profiles. So by default, we offer some profiles, and you can actually drag and drop MPEG profiles here, and they will be uploaded to the platform. Or of course, you can use FTP or WebDAV for bulk upload and processing of files. But in addition to these profiles, you can actually manage your own custom profiles. So for instance, I can add a new profile. Let's call it Steph. And for instance, I want to have full HD ready in SD, but no audio track and no mobile version. And actually, I'm uploading a 4K video, so I want the 4K quality to be passed through. So we will not touch the 4K quality, we will just simply add the other qualities to it. And if you're in a hurry, you can enable a priority queue, then you will get priority over other customers on the platform. And you can decide whether you want to offer these files, these transcoded files, as downloadable files or as streaming files. For instance, if you select audio only, you could create a podcast out of a video and offer it as a download on the platform, or both. You know, you can also say, I want this to be downloaded and the rest streaming. It's all possible. So let's say I save this profile, and instantly this profile is here, and you can start using it. So there's no delay. It's all real time. So upload MPEG 4 files here or more files, and they will be transcoded to the formats as they were there. And because you have different profiles, you can have this video uploaded to one folder and process it to mobile or to audio only, and you can have multiple workflows for transcoding next to each other. I already uploaded a file previously. It's called a road trip. I went on a vacation and I made a video about the road trip. And as you can see, it was processed to multiple qualities. You can see how long the video lasts and also the cost involved, because you pay per minute with the platform for transcoding. So as I said, we have default profiles which you can use instantly, but you can also make custom profiles for transcoding, and you can do your own transcoding if you don't like our transcoding services. So you have all three options available.
Okay, that's very good, very, very flexible. So let's assume that the transcoding is done now, which is great. So then basically the file is ready to become an asset. And I know that you also have asset management on your platform. So how are the assets managed? What can I do with them?
Yeah, I can show you. I'm now in the assets menu. You can either directly upload assets here. So streaming assets, typically MP4 files, can be uploaded to the streaming route. And then we have a download route for JPEGs or PNGs or subtitles, all the documents that come along with your media. And when you upload videos in multiple qualities and images and thumbnails, if you name them the same, then we will recognize that these belong to each other and we will represent them as a logical asset. So for instance, this file was transcoded, but you can also upload your own qualities. And this file is actually represented by 3 bit rates. As you can see, full HD, HD, and SD quality in one logical asset. And you can actually click on the title and give it a custom title and a description and add keywords. You can even add advertising categories and select them. And if you search for one of the keywords, you can actually find the media in the interface as well. So you can use the metadata for searching in the interface, but also for publishing. And you can manually enter the metadata, but you can also import and export it through the API. Now, further, you will see when the file was uploaded, etc. And furthermore, you can, of course, delete files and manage the files in the platform. So all the assets are known by the platform. So this is not just a bucket of media. The system understands the availability of each file and the context of each file, which makes it really easy to manage. So it's a micro metadata management system within the CDN. And of course, if you don't like our metadata management system, if you need more values or keywords or anything, you can use your own metadata management service, but you don't have to. So it's like transcoding. We can do it for you. We can extend it for you, or you can do it yourself. And that's for every step in the process.
Okay. Great. Yeah. So completely up to the customer and their needs. Yes. Yeah, you've already been talking about metadata, which is always very, very important. So at what point does it become important for the viewer, the metadata? Maybe you can elaborate on that.
Yeah, so our platform also incorporates a video player, and it's the same story. You can use our basic video player. We also have a pro version, which you can customize and which has an API you can integrate and talk to. And you can, of course, also use your own player. And if you hit the play button, this is our player generator. And I'm now showing you the pro version of our player, which includes advertisement possibilities, contextual advertising, dynamic branding. So you can change the colors, and the play button, you can completely scheme the player, skin it, and you can have all kinds of interactivity out of the player. So you can control the player from remote. But also the basic player is a very professional player, and it runs on Android, iOS, Chrome, Edge, Safari, Internet Explorer, and Firefox, of course. So all the web and mobile devices are covered by the player. It's a responsive player, which means that it changes its size depending on the screen size of the viewer. And it's also an adaptive player, which means that it automatically tries to give you the best experience possible all the time, depending on your internet connection speed, your device screen size and capability. So it will change the quality dynamically while you're watching, so you will never see any buffering. By default, the player has subtitling features, Chromecast AirPlay, full screen, skip forward, skip back. So it's a very, very rich featured player. So as you can see, I'm playing this video. You can scrub through the video in real time. So as you can see, I'm just scrubbing through the video, and in real time you see the keyframes passing by. It's got skip forward, skip back, etc. You can add subtitles. It also supports multiple audio tracks, so you can have 5.1 surround audio, for instance, or do multiple language audio as well. You can enter a custom poster image and it also supports thumbnails out of the box. And the player is completely free, so we don't charge anything for the video player. It's bundled for free with unlimited views with the platform, which makes it a very attractive player. And when we introduced it, 80% of our customers instantly switched over to this player because it's a professional player. It does what it does, what it needs to do, and it was totally free. And there are no trackers. So it's hosted by our private CDN, and we don't do any tracking. So we respect the privacy of the viewers. We don't do any data collection out of the video player, which makes it really fast as well. Now you can either copy the JavaScript code. So for this video, you can copy the JavaScript and paste it into your website so you have the player in JavaScript. Or you can paste an iframe, which is kind of similar to YouTube. You have an iframe which you can paste in your website. And if you want to use your own video player, you can use the URL and paste the URL into your own custom video player, which makes it a very open service. So again, you have a free basic player, which is very professional. We have the Pro version, which has an interactive API and branding and all kinds of additional features. And then you can use your own player as well together. So you can make any mix of players if you want. I can show you the colors. So in real time, I can change the colors of the bar. I can make it really ugly.
So, I can see.
Actually, you can do this while playing because this is JavaScript based. You can change the JavaScript. So in the JavaScript, you have all these RGB color codes. So in real time, you can adjust the colorization of the player if you'd like to do that. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Why not?
Yeah. You can.
Okay, yeah, I see that. That's really impressive. Fully featured. Really everything you need. Let's talk about security for a bit. So, for example, if I don't want everyone to see my stream, like what can I do that only the viewers that pay see my content? How can I secure it?
Yeah. I'd like to say one more thing about the video player. It's an interactive video player, so you can actually read out the status of the player and change the website accordingly to what's shown in the player. You can also key web objects on top of the video player, like a buy button or a more information button or an interactive query, for instance. You can also, so it's two-way. You can read out, but you can also instruct the video player to start and stop and pause. And that's the Pro version of the player. And we also don't charge for the number of views. It's a fixed low price per month for the player. So we're not eating into your CPM or anything. It's a very competitively priced player. That's just part of the platform. Now, in terms of security, I can show you on my screen. So I was showing this video, and we have multiple levels of security in the platform. So first of all, we stream through HTTPS all the time. So the streams between the servers and the viewers are always secure. That's the first security we have. The second security is that when you offer streams, we don't simply download the MPEG-4 to the client. So you cannot download the media file from the platform. It's streamed. So we transform the file in real time to an HLS stream, which is Apple's technology, or to MPEG-, which is another standard. So you cannot access the MPEG-4 file. You cannot download it. So that's a second barrier of defense. It's not, the streams are not downloadable by default. But we have additional barriers of defense. We work with active load balancers, and you cannot bypass a load balancer. So our servers and the CDNs don't accept any requests unless they come through our load balancer. So you cannot deep link from anywhere else to our service without going through the load balancers. And we have active load balancers, which means that we can influence in real time the security. One feature, for instance, is that I can now add a geofence, for instance, Asia. I'm in the Netherlands, so I'm not in Asia. And if I'm correct, the video should not play right now. So as you can see, it says, we're sorry, but this stream is currently unavailable.
Okay.
You can actually customize this video, right? You don't have to show our video. You can have your own custom video that says, sorry, you don't have the rights. You're not in the right country. So this is real time. So I'm in Europe. So if I add Europe and I want to play the same file again, now I can see the video. So this is geofencing, which is a real-time feature. And actually, you can manage multiple groups. So we have default continents in here, but I can create my own group. So for instance, Netherlands and Deutschland, for instance. So I can go to, where is it? It's called, where is Germany? Here. And I have to find the Netherlands here. So I'm creating a group in real time. Now I can go back to this asset, and there it is, the Netherlands and German market. And I update it, and I should be able to play it right now because I'm in the German or Dutch group. If we go back to the group and deactivate the Netherlands, update group, and go back to the file, I won't be able to watch the video anymore. So all this is real-time manageable. So, and if you disable the geofences, then of course it's available to the world. A second layer of security is what we call URL signing. So you can lock individual files. So as I said, geofencing, you can do this per individual title. So for video A, you can have a geofence for the Netherlands, another geofence for Germany. It's all real-time per file. We also have URL signing. So if you lock a file, then our active load balancers will not allow any request to a video file. You cannot access it. You cannot even access the manifest files or the chunks. It's completely locked down. Unless your website provides a valid token, a signed URL to our load balancers. So you get a private key from us, which is a secret. And then we have some sample code which you can put on your website. And the sample code calculates a token, and we validate the token. You don't have to interact with our API whatsoever. You get our secret key, you implement the code, which is a few minutes of work in the website. And from that point, you can decide why someone is allowed to access a video. So either they are logged in, or they have paid for the video, or they are a subscriber. I don't care why. As long as you tell us that there is no token, people have no access to the stream. And if there is a token, people will access the stream. And that link is unique and is not shareable. So it's a pretty heavy technology to protect access to content. And actually, a lot of our customers use it because it's totally transparent to the user instead of DRM. DRM is really encryption of the streams. This goes to like 90% of security, while DRM goes to 95% of security. And the last 5% is a very heavy step. So we do have customers who use DRM. They encrypt their videos and then upload them to our platform. And they have license servers. And that, of course, works as well. So if you have your own encryption technology, you can put it on top of our platform as well. And you can combine it with the tokenization and the geofencing. So for instance, you can geofence it to a specific region and tokenize it and encrypt it. And then last but not least, we also have a password protection. So for instance, if I enter a password called test and I want to watch the video, you have to enter a password before you can access the video. Okay. And actually, if you provide a valid token, a URL sign, the people will not see the password prompt. They will actually watch the video. Only the people without a valid token can actually use the test password to access the video. And that's very easy for debugging. You know, okay, it's protected, but I have to access it anyway. Let's enter the password and let's have a sneak preview of the video. So I enter test and I go ahead. So that's all very nicely integrated with each other. So multiple levels of security to make sure that customers can really control on a fine granular level in real time the access to every individual title.
Yeah, wow, I'm actually really impressed. I wasn't expecting that many levels of security. So you overwhelmed me. I was, oh wow, there's another one. And also it's password protected at the end. So yeah, wow, very impressive. Yeah. So I have a super secure stream now. Let's move on. So because sometimes maybe I don't know the peaks of the numbers of my viewers or the places where my stream is viewed the most. And I know that a multi-CDN can help with that, but maybe you can tell us a bit more about how it works exactly.
Yeah, if you start streaming, of course, you need some fundamentals to be really in order. First of all, the streams have to be up and running. That's very important. I mean, if this is your mission critical service, you don't want the streams to be offline. So uptime is very critical. And if you need critical uptime, it's better to have a plan B, redundancy. So multiple CDNs help in that way. A second challenge for streaming is scale. You actually, I mean, if you have some videos or live streams that go viral, you need to be able to scale up instantly. And also there, you can have the benefit of multiple CDNs, because one CDN could actually run out of capacity, and then you can have a second CDN to actually overflow to as well. And there's a third reason for having multiple CDNs, which is performance. So not every CDN performs at 100% all the time. Most of them do, especially in Europe and the USA. Most of the CDNs perform really well. But even then, they may have some routing issues or performance issues. And then you want to have a plan B as well, because viewers will complain if streams don't work or don't perform. But there's also a fourth reason to use multiple CDNs, which is cost. Using one CDN is not just a very liability problem. It's also you're stuck with one vendor, and they can charge whatever they want. And if you're integrated with one CDN directly, you're locked in, and they can keep charging a high cost. And if you start small, maybe that's not a problem. But if your business becomes a large success, then traffic prices can really go up and scale up. So you need to be able to reduce the traffic cost as much as possible. And having multiple CDNs at least gives you the ability to switch over to alternative CDNs, which can be cheaper, or use multiple CDNs as a way to renegotiate your prices with your current vendor and say, okay, I have alternatives for you, so you better have a competitive price, or else I have to go to another vendor, even though I like your performance, but I have to talk about my costs. So there are many benefits of multiple CDNs in one platform, but there are also downsides of having multiple CDNs. The first downside is that you have to talk to multiple vendors, get contracts with them, and then you have to integrate with them, which is a pain in the ass. It's really a horror to integrate with multiple CDNs. And then you need a third party, which is a multi-CDN vendor that does the load balancing and the control stuff, which is also hard to work with. And basically, if you use those platforms, you degrade to the lowest common denominator. You can only use the features of the lowest featured CDN, because most of the times those CDN load balancers are DNS based and have no deep integrations with these CDNs. And that's something that we solved. And actually, it's something that's solved automatically. It's standard part of the platform. It's called multi-CDN. We just not just have our own CDN, we also are integrated with multiple CDNs like Akamai, Lumen, StackPath, LeadWeb, and CloudFront, for instance. I believe we have 6 integrations. We don't have contracts with all of the CDNs, but most of the CDNs we do, which means that we can instantly set up CDNs for every account. So for this account, we've set up a lot of CDNs because we can then demo the functionality. But typically, we will simply, for really small customers, we only use our own CDN in Europe because we have a lot of capacity ourselves, and we can service those customers. But if you have a lot of viewers in the US or in Asia, you might want to add a CDN specifically for that region. And that's what we can do. So we can say for this account, we can add 1 or 2 US-based CDNs and 1 or 2 Asian CDNs. So we can geo-optimize multiple CDNs per account and then stack the capacity of those CDNs on top of each other. So instantly you have geo reach globally. And actually we can use one CDN for Asia, one for Europe, and one for the US, or another one for Latin America. We can geo-optimize this entirely. And I can show you how this works by default. I've been watching this video, and I'm just watching it several times, right? I clicked this video a number of times. But every time someone hits the video, we keep track of the popularity. And if the popularity is reaching a certain threshold, which we can set the threshold to 0 or to 1,000 or anything in between. But if it hits the threshold, then the CDN logic will say, hey, this file is really popular. Let's add an extra layer of other CDNs on top of this Jetstream CDN so we can scale up. And the more CDNs we provision to your account, the more we can scale up to millions and millions and millions of viewers globally. So that's the first technology that's in there. The second technology is the algorithm, the load balancing algorithm. We are monitoring the performance of all the CDNs globally. So we know how they perform We don't put trackers in players. That's not necessary. We have agents across the globe, and they're checking the performance and availability of the CDNs. And if one of the CDNs is having an issue, let's say one CDN is having an outage in Asia, then instantly our load balancing algorithm will take that CDN out of the pool for a minute, and it will recheck every minute if it's back online. And if a CDN is out of the pool, we will never send viewers to that specific CDN. So basically, we only send viewers to CDNs that perform and are available because of the logic in the algorithm. That means that the uptime of our platform is extremely high, much higher than using one or two CDNs by yourself. And that's a combination of having multiple CDNs, active load balancing technology, so no DNS, because that's I mean, there's latency in there, there's caching in there. This is real-time load balancing, and this algorithm. So now we have global scale and geo scale, and we have a vertical scale stacking CDNs on top of each other, and we have active load balancing to guarantee very, very, very high uptime and availability towards the users. Actually, our video player, if it encounters some issues midstream, it can go back to our load balancer and say, hey, this CDN is not performing. Do you have an alternative? So even midstream, we can instruct video players to go to another CDN, which greatly improves the performance and the quality of experience for the users. And that's all automated, and it's part of the system. So you just get an account with our platform, you upload your files, and multi-CDN is in there. So you don't have to integrate with CDNs. You don't have to get contracts with the CDNs. You don't have to configure anything. You don't need a third-party multi-CDN load balancer. It's just part of the system. We've never seen anything like this. And the coolest thing I wanted to show you is that this file is actually currently on 3 levels in our CDN. It's on locations 1, 5, and 6. Every customer in our platform can actually override our algorithm. So as you can see, there's a huge list of CDNs in here. So what I'm doing right now, I'm adding extra burst servers, so that we have a tiered CDN ourselves. So we're adding. I'm adding burst capacity on top of the list. So instantly, this simple video is now available through many, many multiple servers for gigabits and gigabits of extra capacity to serve out the traffic. So by default, we serve out the traffic from what we call the core layer, which is for optimized for long tail media. But when it becomes popular, it goes to a burst layer to burst out the streams towards the users. And it's doing it from memory. So there's no disks involved anymore. So it's ultra, ultra fast. And if it's becoming even more popular, and as I'm showing, I'm overflowing this right now. Let's take the CloudFront global CDN and add it on top of it. So instantly, this file is now available through the global CloudFront CDN, which is a massive CDN with thousands and thousands of servers across the world. And I can actually show you that if I copy the URL, so I'm copying it and showing it. I'm not sure if the audience can see this, but I'm entering the URL.
Yeah.
And I'm now being sent to the CloudFront CDN in real time. And if I go back and add another CDN, let's add the stack path CDN, which is formerly Highwinds. And I go to the same URL and I ask for the same link. So I'm not changing the link, it's the same link. Boom, I'm being sent to the Highwinds global CDN. And that's another extra part of this. I mean, now there are 2 CDNs capable of serving out this file in real time. And I'm just, load balancing traffic over those CDNs. Do you know why it sent me to the Highwinds CDN instead of the CloudFront CDN? I can assure you that both the CDNs are performing and up and running, and they're capable. But the algorithm selected Highwinds because it's cheaper. It analyzed in real time that the Highwinds CDN is as capable as CloudFront to deliver this stream to the audience at the highest performance. So there's no performance loss. But if you can use a cheaper path to get the best, at least similar performance, why would you use a more expensive CDN? So that's why what I'm bringing to the multi-CDN last benefit is price management. So you don't have the cost to work with multiple CDNs, no cost to have a third-party multi-CDN vendor, but the algorithm will always steer towards the cheapest path as long as it can guarantee uptime and performance. which is dramatically reducing the cost of delivery, not just for us, but also for our customers. So multi-CDN is typically looked at an expensive way to get more reliability, but actually it's also a cost-reducing technology, and that's just built in part of the platform.
Yeah, well, impressive. So if you're looking for a cheap and very, very quick way to go viral, Jetstream is definitely your platform. I'm actually thinking about what could I do to go viral with your platform. So I'll have a think and I'll get back to you. So yeah, thank you very much for these explanations. I'm just thinking, as we don't have that much time left, maybe can you quickly show us the analytics page that your platform offers, because obviously evaluation and monetizing is a very important point as well.
Absolutely. Before I do that, I wanted to show you how easy it is to set up a live stream. So far I've just shown video on demand.
Yeah, true. Exactly. Yeah, we've got security, assets, a multi-CDN, and VOD. So yeah, actually the live stream's missing.
Yeah.
True.
So live streaming management works exactly the same as VOD with all the functions and all the features, security and the player, etc. But the only difference is, of course, you don't upload a file, you set up a live publishing point. And I can show you right now in the interface how that works. So I'm now in the menu for live streams. I'm not sure if you can see it as well. And there's a plethora of ways to set up new streams. We support radio streaming with Icecast, for instance, which is, most CDNs don't support it, but it's a very popular technology for radio streaming. We can pull streams from your encoders. You can send it through WebDAV, and you can also set up an RTSP or RTSP link. And if I want to set up a live stream, I just enter the name, hit create live stream, wait for a few seconds, and it's setting it up right now. And within a few seconds, it will come back with a second screen and say, boom, it's done. You can use this stream key, your primary live streaming location server, the secondary live streaming location server, a username and a password, and from that point, you can start streaming. So in the background, it's already setting up the live streaming. So within a few seconds, you can enter this data into your live encoder and start streaming. And you can keep adding live streams like this. So, and everything I've shown you so far and will show you is done. Can also be done through the API. So you can set up a live stream, lock it, publish it, stop streaming, remove the publishing point. Everything automated through the API. And if you don't like our live streaming engines, you can actually set up your own live streaming server and add it as an origin to our server, and then you can have your own process there as well. So that's also possible.
Oh yeah, true. That's another unique feature of Jetstream, the origin servers. Maybe you can say a few quick words about that as well, and then we'll move to the analytics just to make sure we've covered everything that makes Jetstream unique.
Yeah. So I'm showing the origin screen right now. To click a new origin, you can say, I'll just call it origin and go to origin.jetstream.com. And if I want, I can have a second origin server. It's actually checking if it's available. And I'm just making this up, right? I'm just making up an origin server. So this could be your own streaming server for live streams and VODs. And I'm just creating it right now. Like exactly the same. So within a few seconds, it will come back with information how you can open up access from your origin service to our CDNs, and boom, there it is. It's giving you some IP ranges to open up, and from that point, we can access your origin server. And if you have a live stream, let's say live.m3u8, and you enter it, there's a player, and of course, I just made that server up. But if there was actually a live stream on that server, it would display right here. So that's how fast you can connect your own streaming infrastructure with our platform. And then we can scale it up to the multiple CDN infrastructure. You get our analytics, you get our security, everything is still in place. So it's extremely fast to integrate your own streaming workflow with this system and have a multi-CDN setup there. So, and last but not least, the analytics you were asking about. As I said, we are not gathering information from the player. We are gathering information from the access logs from the CDNs and our own CDN, which means that we capture every view. There is no risk of being blocked by tracker blockers or ad blockers. We capture every data, and we store all the data in our own secure cloud in Europe. So we We don't claim ownership on the data. We store it for you in our secure environment, and nobody else can access it. So we will never sell or share or open up access to the data. It's your data, and that's how we protect the privacy of your audience, but also your competitive business data. Because, I mean, if you're a publisher and your market reach, your most popular titles, your audience, your advertisers, all that data is in the logs. If that ends up with a US-based CDN or a US-based video platform, you have no full control that that data is safe. And that's something that we really stand for. We don't claim the ownership. It's your data. You can access the raw data if you want. You can delete it with us, whatever you want. And on top of the data, the only thing what we do is analyze. So we can report traffic usage, audience usage, etc. And I have this screen open, which is our analytics suite. This is the overview. So you can see how many visits you've had in the past few moments, the average viewing time, the trends. You can have geo information. For instance, I can go to Germany and zoom into a region. I see the trend within that region. I can see the city, where people came from. I can, for instance, see the devices that people have been using. So smartphones are very popular nowadays on the internet, like 70% market share in smartphone.
Oh, wow, that's a lot.
Apple iPhone, 42% market share for this data. Apple as a brand, 57% market share. It's the same for iOS and mobile Safari. So they are the king in online media consumption. And this is very important data, because if you don't have this data, and if you don't have 100% of the data, if you just have sampling data or player-based data, you don't capture all the information anymore, because iOS is blocking information tracking, ad blockers are. So you need to rely on more reliable data, which in our view is access logs. They capture everything. You cannot block us from logging if you watch a stream. So the data is 100% there. And the learnings are, for instance, that if you want to do anything with video, you have to have a mobile-first strategy. And actually, a mobile-first iOS strategy. For some reason, iOS users are much more using online video consumption compared to Android viewers. I think they have more time and more money with unlimited data plans or so. But this is hard data, and this is really helpful to tune and optimize. So which of my titles are the most popular? What's the average watch time per title? All that critical data is there.
Yeah, I can tell. Thank you very much for these insights. So is there anything else that you would like to highlight at the end? Because unfortunately, we're running out of time. So if there's anything else you would like to emphasize now, you can do it right now.
So I haven't shown some new features, which is real-time transcoding. So you can get your live stream into our platform. Either we do a transparent pass-through. So we simply stream out what you stream in. So you can have one or multiple bit rates towards us, and we simply transparently send them to the viewers, which is very popular with broadcasters and high-end video producers. But we also have a live transcoding service where we add multiple qualities to your stream. And with this, similar to the transcoding service for videos, you can also have your own profiles. So you can select the qualities. You have a lot of control in the transcoding service. Another new feature that we are launching is called On Air, which is live encoding in the browser. So you don't need a live encoder in your as a device anymore, or live encoding software. You can simply log into our portal, and then you can start streaming from your browser at 4K quality if you want. So very high quality broadcasting, which is very interesting for customers, for instance, who want to launch a live streaming service towards their customers, to end users, for instance. So because it's a JavaScript-based feature, you can integrate in your website or your portal and have your viewers stream live through our platform on your portal. I think that's very cool, because I haven't seen anything like it before, and that's going to open a lot of new business cases and use cases for our customers for live streaming.
Yeah. Thank you. Thanks for this outlook. So yeah, Steph, thank you so much. I think we'll just stop at this point now. And if you're interested in the Jetstream platform, if it really caught you, please get in touch. We can provide you with a trial license. You can test it out yourself. So just let us know. We're happy to help. Steph is happy to help. Please contact us. Otherwise, thank you so much for now, Steph.
Thank you too.
We'll be back in a few minutes with the next demo. Thanks for listening. Bye.